Angela Merkel was dealt a stunning blow in the German elections, catapulting the right-wing AfD to become basically the primary opposition force in Germany, partly as a result of the disastrous policy of allowing millions of Muslim migrants to flood into the country, which Merkel herself admitted was a huge mistake after case of mass molestations, rape and sexual assault, after skyrocketing migrant crime figures, after numerous attempted and completed terrorist attacks. Germany must finally be taking strong action to halt the spread of Islamism within its culture, right?
Allah. Sag das mal. Allah.
Allah.
Oh.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Weil ich jetzt Muslima bin.
What you just watched was a clip from a German public television soap opera where a mother converts to Islam in front of her son. Companies putting hijabi women in their ads is one thing, but a soap star literally telling her son that all children are Muslims takes it to another level. Here's another clip from German television depicting the normalization of the hijab.
Enjoy difference, start tolerance.
Another documentary broadcast on German public TV favourably presented a relationship between a 16-year-old German girl and an adult Syrian man. The Muslim migrant tells his girlfriend to dress modestly and consider converting to Islam. Meanwhile, public television is also set to broadcast a movie that depicts a family having to flee a collapsing Germany and seek refuge in Africa to escape a right-wing extremist government that persecutes Muslims. Following an Islamic terror attack by a Syrian migrant, Germany's Tele5 changed its logo to include an Islamic crescent. Germany's top public broadcaster ZDF admits that it censors information about rapes if they're committed by Muslim migrants. Germans are being told to learn Arabic, to not fly the German flag because it might offend migrants. German scientists have even proposed mass drugging the population with oxytocin, a drug that increases feelings of trust, so they feel more accepting of migrants. What we're witnessing in Germany is nothing less than the mass indoctrination of the population. This is a huge re-education program aimed at normalizing Islam. Germans are being trained that they need to assimilate to Islamic mores and cultural norms, not the other way round. This is why women are being told to travel in groups. This is why gender-segregated safe zones are being set up in major cities for major events. This is submission. This is total capitulation. The only pushback has been increased support for AfD and stunts like this one, where a group plastered "It's okay to be German" signs across major cities. Maybe more Germans would feel free to speak out if they weren't being arrested for offensive social media posts. This is happening all across the entire continent of Europe. And the reason is quite simple. When a society loses faith in its culture, loses faith in its heritage, more aggressive doctrines, belief systems and cultures will rush in to fill the void. What's the end goal? The replacement of the population. Oh, don't take my word for it. Listen to the far-left politicians who proudly announce that very agenda.
Unsere Gesellschaft wird sich ändern. Unsere Stadt wird sich radikal verändern. Ich bin der Auffassung, dass wir in 20, 30 Jahren gar keine ethnischen Mehrheiten mehr haben in unserer Stadt. Das ist das, was wir haben werden in der Zukunft. Und ich sage Ihnen noch ganz deutlich, gerade hier in Richtung rechts, das ist gut so.
I'm for limited, skilled immigration, and I want Germany to remain Germany. Multiculturalism isn't about diversity, it's about power. It's about leftist political parties importing future generations of voters at the cost of the identity and security of their own country. If Germany was importing millions of Australians or Japanese, it wouldn't be anywhere near as big a problem. But you can't import millions of people who can't speak the language, are in many cases illiterate, and immediately go on welfare. People who follow a belief system that treats women as second-class citizens. People who are more prone to violent criminal behaviour, without that changing the fundamental nature of society. Is it any wonder Germany has now followed France in having its own migrant no-go zones? Is it any wonder that migrants were responsible for a 92% increase in reported violent crimes in Germany? Is it any wonder that German cities with the highest population of migrants also have the highest crime rates? Is it any wonder wonder that female genital mutilation cases in Germany are soaring? Is it any wonder that honour killings are on the rise? Is it any wonder historic Christian churches are being demolished as mosques and Islamic centres multiply across the country? Is it any wonder terrorism cases in Germany have increased by more than 900% in 5 years? To the point where children's playgrounds have to be guarded by armed police. And what solution has Germany's grand coalition government offered to address all this? They're going to continue letting in 200,000 mostly Muslim migrants a year. Every year, while mass brainwashing the German public that German culture no longer exists and that the Islamization of their society is natural, normal, and shouldn't be resisted. When the Stasi inflicted a reign of psychological terror on the German people, they achieved it via a combination of relentless propaganda and threats of arrest and internment for anyone who dared speak out. 28 years after the fall of the Stasi, many Germans are now asking, has that much really changed?
Pointing what appears to be a water gun at the image of President Donald Trump projected on a whiteboard, art teacher Pale Modi has now been seen by countless viewers across the internet. When Adamson Jr. Leslie Hymes saw our camera outside her school, she had a clear message for us.
Justice for Modi, that's what I said.
Hymes says she was in Modi's second period class on Inauguration Day when her teacher pulled out the water gun she had taken from a student.
I mean, Trump came out and she shot at him, but like, it was just a water gun. It's no big deal.
She says most of the people in class took it as a joke, but when the school district discovered the video on social media, it placed the teacher on administrative leave. She did yell out the word die.
Well, yeah, but joking around, she actually didn't mean it.
Senior Brianna Castillo says she sympathizes with the frustrations she sees on display in the video, but agrees Modi crossed a line.
Although her actions didn't display that she was a good role model, she's always there and supports my classmates, my peers.
None of the students we met said they wanted Modi to lose her job, but for now the teacher's fate isn't clear. Have you guys talked in school about how making a threat against the president it's a crime?
Yeah, it was a little too much, but it was a joke.
Me and him got called KKK, Nazi, and we just kept on getting bullied that whole day.
2 students at a Metro Atlanta elementary school say they were singled out for what they did during the Pledge of Allegiance.
The Orr's elementary school teacher has left parents angry and is now explaining her actions after a controversial assignment regarding taking a knee during the national anthem. On Tuesday morning at Orr's elementary school, 10-year-old Jason Newberry did what he and his classmates do every other morning in homeroom.
Nobody put their hand over their heart and said me and one other little boy, and we said the Pledge of Allegiance.
Then the name calling began.
Me and him got called KKK, Nazi, and we just kept on getting bullied that whole day.
It wasn't until his second period teacher showed them a news clip of NFL players kneeling that Jason realized the present controversy surrounding the flag.
She made her own poll on paper, passed it out to all her students to see what they thought was right or wrong about taking a knee.
But it's not the assignment that has his parents upset. It's what the teacher told students before assigning the work.
Teacher said that she'll never stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and that if she did stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, then she wouldn't really mean it.
Newberry says she and her husband never discussed the NFL taking a knee protest with her 10-year-old, and adds it's not a teacher's job to press their beliefs on students.
You are misguided, right? You are perpetuating white supremacy.
Wait, so it's either you agree with this or
that says you can kill us.
Wait, so it's either you agree with this or you're a white supremacist and therefore you're a disgrace to your race? You know, I wonder what other kind of people say you're a disgrace to your race. You know, I really wonder.
No, I didn't say that.
If you perpetuate white supremacy, that means you're a disgrace to your race, right? You're saying that if I don't agree with the left-wing narrative that all black people are living in fucking Nazi Germany, that therefore I'm a disgrace.
I don't think anyone has ever challenged you, but that won't.
Plenty of people have challenged me. I've debated people on the right and I've debated people on the left. I met genuine neo-Nazis. Like, shit.
But you gotta know what the words actually mean behind the definition. And that's why I'm gonna stop it. We can have this conversation against them all.
Oh, shit.
In Ross Township, shooting where they shot up a municipal building, and the guy, he shot 3 people, and 2 people wrestled the shooter to the ground who weren't even armed. So I like to always bring that up when people like, the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun. These two guys, completely unarmed, wrestled this man to the ground. So guns don't always mean the area is going to be safe.
Those of you I did not meet in my reception line, I am Debbie Miller, she of the multicolored emails. And on behalf of Giffords, I could not be more excited to welcome you all to our We Are the Change trip. It would be amazing if you could familiarize yourself with the Giffords organization. Giffords has not only arranged an unbelievable itinerary for us, but they've got medical support, there's security, there's counseling, there's media relations. Pretty much everything that they could think of, they have arranged for us. We've got teachers. I feel like it's like going to camp. That, you know, have you texted your mom? My tech support extraordinaire has set up a Facebook page and Instagram.
The username is wearethe_change_DC because We Are the Change was taken.
If you don't have an itinerary, it's because when I got up to like almost 200, my principal was like, I'm assuming that's not for school, and I was like, Sure it is. We're also going to have some things that are not on the agenda that are kind of top secret, so all the press here, just pretend you're not hearing this. But we will be introduced on Capitol Hill by Nancy Pelosi, so that's kind of cool. Mitch McConnell is threatening to meet with us, but I'm not sure if he really means that or not, as is Marco Rubio. So we'll see how that one goes. And it's quite possible we're going to have a private meeting with Joe Biden. I got to speak to Joe Biden on the phone through Giffords, and he's really dedicating his life, I have to tell you guys, to your cause. Poster making, we're going to have our own Parkland Lounge, they're calling it, for you guys to go and decompress and have press-free zones. Okay. All media requests, as you guys know, and you've been doing great, have to go through Anna direct, through Giffords. Giffords will be sending a person with you. There's no kids going to press events by themselves. And this is really important. You need to have your talking points ready. Now, for plane captains, there's going to be a teacher at one end, and there's going to be a teacher at the other end. So one teacher is going to make sure at the counter that you're checked off the list, that you get to security, and there'll be another teacher waiting at the other end of security. By the way, Southwest has donated all of these seats to us. When we get off the plane, the Giffords people will be there. They will literally usher us off. We'll go to baggage. The buses that are taking us to DC are right there. It's not going to rain on Saturday, so yay. You're welcome. I would say something about the politician who said the Jews were in charge of weather, so you're welcome. But that's not right. The other thing is, and again, this is super off the record. So, here's what happened. It was supposed to be a march. And then, shockingly, they wouldn't give permits for the march. So the march became a rally. Now, I've heard rumors from kids that since the rally is right on Pennsylvania Avenue and the White House is like a 20-minute walk up the street, that might happen. So it's conceivable that we could leave at the end of the rally and walk to the White House, where we rally some more and hold up our signs and say our piece and create a little hell, and then go to the NEA building and have hot chocolate.